What's your point? What's your point? What's your point?
With Armstrong Williams on the right and Russ Parr on the left.
Well, good afternoon, Armstrong. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, Russ. That means that's a serious voice, y'all. I thought a good question today would be, this war's been going on, what are we going on, a couple of months? A little over a couple of months. How do we get out of it?
Well, I think it's all about, Russ, the miscalculation and the credibility. I think there's a deeper truth emerging from this conflict with Iran that I think most people watching it are really reserving. I think it's miscalculation at the highest levels carries consequences far beyond strategy. What the president and his team advocate and posture is not the reality. I think this assumption of this quick, decisive outcome has proven false, and Iran was underestimated. And its resilience and ability to disrupt these global energy and shipping have prolonged this conflict and shaken markets. And its ability to attack its enemies, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, has shaken the Gulf states. And so at the same time, what we don't always talk about is this shifting messaging and unclear objectives have raised serious questions, not just among adversaries, but among allies. And I think what Trump is faced with right now, that is the elephant in the room, is that America's military credibility is not being watched closely by our enemies, our allies. And you know, we've seen this before. Russia was expected to dominate Ukraine and was instead humble. And so now the verdict remains for Iran and the United States. And the issue now is, how is Trump going to respond now that Iran is firing back in the Strait of Hormuz?
Wow, we don't have an argument here because I agree with almost everything you just said. I got another question. We have Witkoff and Kushner. Kushner happens to be the president's son-in-law. Are you comfortable with Jared Kushner negotiating for peace?
You know, this is a decision the president has made. It reflects him. If these are his chosen emissaries, then that's what the president does. So the blame has to go lay at his feet, because obviously he's not listening to CIA operatives who have a long history and intelligence operatives, because you know military might, bombing ships, taking out strategic locations in Iran is not enough. We should have learned this in Afghanistan and Vietnam. They have far more to lose than we do. This guerrilla warfare, to think that just because Khomeini and his family were pummeled and they died, all of a sudden they're gonna surrender and bend the knee. It was just folly. It was just a miscalculation.
But let me ask you, Armstrong, we're at a point right now, because we got to wrap up here. We're at a point right now that the administration is lying to us, and I think Pete Hegseth is in way over his head. This rah talk, we're winning the war, we won the war, blah, blah, blah. The day you lost one American life, that's when you lost the war. And I am concerned that we have forgotten about the fallen already. It doesn't matter. And to me, it's just disgusting. All what seems to be like insider trading going on in this country is not characteristic of our government.
You know, I'm gonna stick with the topic. I just want to say, because I know we have to go, we've got to de-escalate this situation. And how do we do this? This back channel diplomacy, Russ, quiet concessions, and face-saving off-ramp for both sides is required right now, because this is the most likely path if cooler heads are to prevail. It won't look like victory, but it could prevent something far worse.
Armstrong, this is not off topic. The reason why this thing is prolonging, people are making money. That was my point. So this is not off topic. Are we sitting in a war so people can continue to capitalize on the losses with the investment in these companies, handing out government contracts? So no, this is on topic. But yeah, we are out of time, and maybe we can discuss that later. First of all, I just want to say I read an article that you did for the Baltimore Sun that was absolutely wonderful, and I highly recommend you all to get an opportunity. He wrote an Armstrong When Darkness Becomes a Brand, talking about that young teenager that was murdered brutally by that. Great article, man. I got to give you some props on that. We'll talk to you next week, sir.
Thank you, Russ.
There it is, y'all.
What's your point? What's your point?
With Armstrong Williams on the right and Russ Parr on the left.